How's it going there, everyone? Cade here, and we've been through a lot in anatomy and physiology. I mean, a lot. And I just wish there's someone that could show us what it all means, you know? Let's do this. It's basically just like a lot of ground to cover, so it's just easier for me to simplify it for all y'all. Our teacher, Mr. Carroll, he kind of looks like Ulfar, Warbear from Skyrim. He gave us all this information, and there's just a ton of stuff, so it's just better to filter it down and give it to y'all. But first things first, what is anatomy and physiology? Anatomy is the study of the body parts and the structure, while physiology is the study of the body parts and how it works, body parts and their functions. So back like in 1600 BC, people would just fall and die for no reason. People had no idea why. So people were uncomfortable with that, and they decided to perform autopsies and get a better understanding about how we die and how we can prevent it. Today we perform autopsies and all that just to further our knowledge about this and just prevent anything from happening to us again. And eventually, we can get to a perfect part where we can just dissect it and just know literally everything about like how we died and what we would have died from. It's just pretty insane to me.
Check 1, check 2.
So my mic wasn't on for like a good portion of these videos, so we're just going to fire through these ones. Come on, bear with me. We got this. It's like 10 o'clock. I'm tired of editing this video. Let's go. Herophilus, he's considered the father of anatomy. He studied the heart and the lungs and started to take people's pulses. Hippocrates made huge advances in medicine, and he prescribed people with diseases to, change their diet, take a bath, do a bunch of stuff. He developed the Hippocratic Oath. Not really he developed it, but people developed it around him. And that is used in the Code of Ethics, which I'll get to in a minute. Leonardo da Vinci, you probably haven't heard of this guy. He dissected over 30 people in his lifetime. And he studied their parts, and one of his famous ones was actually an 8-month-old pregnant lady. And dissected her stomach when she passed away, and that's how we kind of understand how birth is now, because that's really the first time we've ever had an in-depth look at it. Henry Gray, he wrote Gray's Anatomy, not the TV show, obviously, G-R-A-Y, not G-R-E-Y. This is used in people's classes today, in college, and he wrote detailed pictures of hair follicles, cells even. I don't even know how he did that. But he wrote these books, and it was very detailed, and that's what he's most popular for. And then once again, those are the major contributors. Next up is the Code of Ethics and Standards of Practice. Those are to protect them from legal harm. And the Hippocratic Oath, which I talked about earlier, is literally like a code of chivalry that the knights had. It's like doctors have to say it right before they become a doctor, really, and it's like an oath to be what they want to be and be good at it. The standards of practice is just making sure that the whole entire facility is safe and comfortable for everyone. No one wants to go into a bloody, dirty doctor's office. That would be terrifying. It wants to be clean and comfortable for everyone. Alright, time to do this for the millionth time. I like the 5th. Superior is looking up. Inferior is looking down. Proximal is looking at the arms going up, or the legs going up in this position. Okay. And distal is looking at it going down. Medial is looking towards the center of the body, and lateral is looking from the center outside of the body. Ipsilateral is the same side of the body. Your right leg or your right arm. Your right arm or your right leg, or ipsilateral is your right arm and your right leg, or your left arm and your left leg. Bilateral is looking at both sides of the body. Left arm, right leg, left leg. I am so done. Contralateral is looking at the opposite sides of the body. Your left arm, right leg, right arm, left leg. Alright, your body sections. Alright, frontal is looking at the body, like imagine if it's cut in half, and you're just looking at the front. Transverse is looking at, say, the body cut right here. You're looking at either the bottom side of the body or the top side of the body. And then sagittal is cutting a line, and you're looking at this side of the body or this side of the body. Alright, here we go. We're looking at the body parts and the regions, okay? This is your right hypochondriac, left hypochondriac.
I lost the label for epigastrel in the floods of the fan that is my room. Not sure where it went. Umbilical is like the center of your body, obviously your belly. Right lateral, left lateral, or lumbar. Right inguinal, left inguinal, and your pubic region. Alright, your body cavities. Your cranial contains your brain. Your thoracic contains your heart and lungs. Abdominal contains your intestines, your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas, all that stuff. Vertebral is behind the abdominal right here. It's kind of hard to see that. That contains your spinal cord. And pelvic contains your bladder and your reproductive organs.
Okay, I'm glad that's over. That was probably the longest. That took me 3 days to do, okay? You don't understand. I've recorded this 3 different times. This is finally done. Get out of here, okay? Now that that's done, we need to talk about what makes up these body stuff. This body stuff. Rough day. We got all the body cavities, the regions, the body positions. But what makes it up? The answer is cells, but more specifically, eukaryotic cells. Let's dissect a eukaryotic cell and I'll explain what it is. First up, what's it look like? Boom. These little things inside the cells are called eukaryotes. And what? Organelles. I'm going to explain what they are and what they look like. We've got the cytoplasm, the liquid surrounding the cell. The nucleus contains your DNA, your DNA. It's basically the control center of the cell. Hi. The cell wall, or the cell membrane. It provides the strength of the cell that can let things enter or leave it, and it has a semi-permeable membrane, which means it can let people go in and go out of it. It's not people, I'm talking about nutrients. I'll get to that, I promise. You ready? Ribosome, where protein is made and amino acids are formed. Endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum breaks down nutrients you eat, makes lipids, and basically sends stuff throughout the body. Yee. The mitochondria, the most overrated organelle, powerhouse of the cell, and creates ATP used for cellular respiration. I'll get that in just a second, and just a couple seconds. So we got this thingamajig that can allow things to, pass through and inside and outside of the cell. For that, semi-permeable membrane, I just talked semi-permeable membrane that I talked about within the cell wall. So we're going to figure out what these transport things are and how do we use them. Passive transport is where the diffusion of molecules from an area of high concentration moves to an area of low concentration across the cell membrane. I can't talk today. Across the cell membrane. It's called the concentration gradient, and passive transport is used in different things like osmosis, diffusion, and facilitated diffusion. What makes that different from regular diffusion is that facilitated diffusion requires a different bypass to get to the area of low concentration, where regular diffusion diffuses through the membrane. And you don't need energy to do that, which is very helpful, Don't need that mitochondria I talked about, overrated. Now, active transport can move from high to low concentration as well, but it can also move from low to high. You need energy to do this, however, and we get this energy from the mitochondria, and that's from separating the phosphate bond, adenine triphosphate, ATP, which makes it adenine diphosphate, and creates it. This is an example of one. This is sodium potassium pump. We have sodium down here and potassium up here. Sodium needs to go up there and potassium needs to go down, but it needs to go against the concentration gradient. I'll go more over this in a minute. Secondary active transport does not require energy because of the constant motion of these battery and link things. Can move it up and down the concentration gradient really at will. So as I mentioned earlier, the sodium potassium pump, a version of active transport. The sodium is down here and the potassium is up here, and the sodium wants to go up and the potassium wants to go down. However, it can't move against its concentration gradient. So we're going to use the sodium here. It's going to go into this transport protein. And then an adenine triphosphate is going to go attach at the bottom here. And then break off. And it's going to shoot the... it changes the form of it. So it'll actually
flip this from being closed up here and open up here to closed up here and open up here. That's going to shoot out. And then the potassium is going to attach in these little triangle things, and this is going to break off, and it's going to flip it again, and it's going to go down against the concentration gradient. Next up, endotosis and exocytosis. In fact, I have it right here. Ow! Endocytosis is where a substance is transported into the cell, whilst exocytosis is delivering stuff from the inside to the outside. That's pretty simple stuff, to be honest. Now, you remember that like cellular respiration thing I mentioned? Yeah, it sucks. It's boring, but we gotta get through it. Let's go, okay? Come on, no procrastination. We gotta do it. Just the thing about it is, it's not really that hard once you get the understanding of it, but it's so boring. Ugh. Glycolysis starts off by breaking down glucose, or your sugar, and forms pyruvate. And this happens because of ATP, and pyruvate can be used in the anaerobic respiration or aerobic respiration. This pyruvate oxidation. You take pyruvate and you take off carbon and attach a CoA enzyme, and that creates acetyl-CoA. And that product is used to begin the Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle, and it starts with the product of pyruvate oxidation, acetyl-CoA, and that converts to CO2. And the 3-NADH is now a product, but we still have the ADP, adenosine diphosphate, and we add a phosphate, making it ATP again, and then we add water and we get NAD. NAD+. Add 2 electrons and we get NADH, and that is sent to the electron transport chain. So we've arrived to the electron transport chain, big ETC. Yeah. This takes place inside the mitochondria, and it is a series of proteins and whatnot moving up and down the concentration, making it basically the opposite of what it once was. If the bottom side was negative, the top is now positive. And that the bottom is positive, the top is now negative. I hope I said that right. I'm really sorry. It's a lot, but it creates around 34 ATP, and that's a lot of energy that we can use. And this has to do a lot with the sodium-potassium pump. There's a different sort of charge on each side, so it's trying to make it equal or flip it to the opposite of the concentration gradients. So there you go.
All right, body tissues.
I'm drained. I recorded this on my new phone, and it doesn't work with my computer. Google Pixel 3 is not all it's cracked up to be. Google Pixel 3 XL, that is. You aren't gonna believe what just happened. Muscle tissue. Smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, your heart muscle, and skeletal muscles, the muscles on your skeleton. Nervous tissue, these are your nerves, obviously. These are your nerves, obviously. This sends electrical signals and information around the body. Connective tissue, it's literally like connecting. It's supposed to connect. Epithelial tissue is your skin. And that's it. Oh, its main function is protection, that's right. Now we're really getting to where all this stuff ties together, and those are the body systems. And our first one is the integumentary system. It's a good system. Good system. Now, the integumentary system is your skin, hair, nails, and your glands. Its main function is protection and is indeed the largest body system we have. And a fun fact, whenever your fingertips get wet and wrinkly after you're swimming, people think that's because it's the absorption of water and it's not leveled throughout your body and fingertips. That's why your fingers and toes are wrinkly. But it's actually your skin adapting to the water so it has better grip. Like a frog has a webbed feet, it helps them swim better. So it literally helps us grip the water better. Actually, that's insane. Not only does our skin work when it's dry,
it even works underwater.
Okay, I understand the situation. You were playing your Beyblade and you let it rip, and then it flew out of that thing and cut your arm. Well, don't worry. The integumentary system, one of their main functions is to heal your wounds, and I'll show you how. Start off, you get cut. You got cut real bad. So your body's going to start bleeding. It'll enter hemostasis, is to keep your blood from bleeding. Next, it looks red, so it's inflamed, right? But that's because you're in the inflammatory stage. Helps prevent bacteria from entering it, and it kills it. And the next is proliferative, so your skin is actually being rebuilt. Like, good example is like these little Spider-Man guys that just shoot webs across your skin, and it's just building it all together. It just happens millions and millions of times until your wound is almost healed. And that's when it's almost healed is maturation. And that is when your skin is closed off, there's no hole in there anymore. And sadly, not 100% of your skin is going to be replenished by this. In fact, probably only about 85% of most wounds are healed in this. So stay safe out there, kids. And finally, we've come to our last big topic, and that is the I'm just waiting so I don't have to pause the camera and start over again. I'm going to be looking for the word skeletal system and the picture with the skeleton on it. And I'm not really sure where it is. I still can't find it. Where did it go? Whoa, where did it go? Okay, I found the picture. Here it is. Boom. Skeletal system and the skeleton. Main functions right here. Here we go. Support. Movement. Where's my tape? Oh, yeah. What? Where's my tape? Main functions. Body movement, support, calcium storage, and red blood cell production. So there's two different segments of the skeletal system that we like to look at, and it is the axial. The axial system, which is your core in your head, basically literally where like their axis turning points are, and then technically the axes would be the appendicular system, all your hinges, your arms and your legs, your long bones, boom,
Short bones.
flat bones, sesamoid bones, and we just kind of got these things called irregular bones. They don't fit in any of the categories. So since they are so irregular, I'm gonna make y'all really mad right now. How mad does that make y'all? Let me know. Here's a picture of the inside of a bone. At the top here, the articular cartilage, then the epiphyseal line, your growth plate. This group is your epiphysis at the very top. And the bone on the inside is actually called spongy bone. And it is not spongy, okay? I literally got charbroiled roasted in class because I thought it was actually kind of squishy, but it isn't. It's not squishy. Now, the center is your diaphysis, and this is where all the juicy stuff is, literally. It may shock you, but your bones are not solid. They actually are hollow. There's the medullary cavity where all your veins and all your yellow blood marrow is. It's kind of weird. And at the bottom, we have the distal epiphysis, along with more articular cartilage. I just realized I could flip the camera so I could see what I'm doing, because I've been looking in the mirror, because like literally right behind the camera is a mirror, but you can flip like the camera viewer. So I literally made all this work for nothing. I'm kind of upset. Ow! Ow! The microphone got in my way. Joints. Are they? Yes, they are. Joints provide certain types of movement. Here are 6 of them right now. I'll put this right here. Yeah, I'm gonna. Wait, no. Right here. Right there. I'm done, Karen. I'm done. Let's just get this over with. Come on. Up is plane joints. That allows movement. Let's say like you're on a plane or something. You can do that. Saddle joints in your thumb. You can do that. Condylar joint. Do that. Pivot joint.
Whoa.
Hinge joint. Boop. And last, but most certainly not least, we have the ball and socket joint. That is your bows and your knees. I turned my mic off during the outro. I'm gonna do the outro again. First off, a couple things I took away from this. The first thing is I think it's insane, like all these body systems working together. You know, like this whole active transport. You know, the sodium potassium pump. You know, it's working. Yes, obviously, but it's working millions and millions of times each day, and that's just one out of millions inside your body. I mean, this is in every single cell, tons of them. That's insane to me. You know how someone can look at a body, you know, during autopsies, and know, oh, this happened in the superior, inferior part of the body, you know. We have so many people to thank for all this stuff, and all this muscle tissue and all these tissues and system. I can't get enough of it. I just think it's insane. The second thing I took away is, what the heck, Mr. Carroll? What the heck? But for real though, I'd like to thank you for this semester. I'm excited for next semester, and I know I didn't get it as first, and I apologize, but I love what I'm doing, honestly. This is my favorite science class I've ever had so far, and it's just so much fun to learn about this. Like, it's just one of those classes where I go home and say, well, this is what I learned in anatomy and physiology today, and I just think it's really cool, and thank you for letting me do this project. It was a lot of fun most of the time, and I'd just like to say thank you one more time. Have a good day. Peace out. Cells are called eukaryotes, and what?
Wow. What? Wow.
Get out of my room.
Wonder, wonder, hoobie hoop.
Yeah.
Who wrote the book of love?
You.
What are we doing?
I'm waiting for you to leave so I can record.
I was gonna hang out with you.
Okay, you need help? Okay. Hang this up and tell me what all these body parts are. Relative body positions. Alright, explain them. What's superior?
Is this what you're doing?
Yes.
Oh, well, hell, let's do it.
No. Alright, zooming in on these relative body positions. Oh, come on, where you at? Where you at? Yeah. Come on. This is not the last time. Oh, this is going to be the last time I record this. Come on, where you at? Yeah. Looking up. Proximal is looking down. Can y'all even see my hand? No, y'all cannot. Is it up here? Is it down here? Is it looking where? Where is it looking at? I'm not sure. Cell membrane. Oh, it sure is.